Let's break the mold and stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Welcome to Stanley on 7. We're here until it's here.
And welcome back. This is Stanley on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast, a Pull Tab Sports production. I'm Ryan Carter with John King. John, hey, listen, the Minnesota Wild, they just continue to roll right now. They took down Vancouver last night I think Minnesota Wild fashion. Good third period, 6-3. Seemed like it was a close game, really wasn't. I think last night's win locked St. Louis as the opposition. Now it's just a straight battle between St. Louis and Minnesota for home ice. What have you liked? What have you seen?
I missed a little bit of last night. I was busy reading about how the Mankato goalie tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. So
good thing is he'll be available, and he can maybe be one of the guests when you treat me and him.
I was just surprised. So at the time that they won that bet, he would have been technically cheating. But as for the Wild, I think it's the fast forward part of the season, which sounds horrible because you never want to wish anything away. But you're basically in. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. We already know who we're going to play, and I kind of want to let's move along. So,
in terms of home ice, are you from the camp that wants to chase it and do everything they can to get it, or are you more interested in the Wild being healthy?
Healthy. So, and I wanted to talk to you about this because you're an analyst. So, the observation I have on the Wild, and it goes back to this deep comment. Are we deep or not deep? Obviously, we are deep. But I do notice that our team plays best when everybody's in their spot. When we're scrambled, when one guy's gone and it messes up maybe two lines, it seems like everything goes haywire. I'd almost rather if Zook was out, just throw a seat filler on that line, and just don't mess any of the other lines up. And just it seems like we're more of a sunny side up egg than a scrambled egg. We can't play scrambled.
I think that's true. The one line I think that probably isn't true for is the fourth line. I don't think that they've got dynamic chemistry where it's, hey, you totally can't fit other pieces in there. But the top three for sure. And I think probably the most important line is the grief line in terms of that. When that line's together, everybody's better.
When they're together, it's 1 + 1 + 1 = 100.
Right.
And when one guy's missing, it's 2.
Right. Exactly. So for me, it's that line has to be together. Without that line, all other lines also aren't as good. So Fiala's line, Hartman's line, they're just not as good. So it's important to have those three guys healthy for sure. I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise that Foligno tested positive for the Rona going into Canada. It was a one game. He missed it. And I don't know if he was going to get time off and some rest going into the playoffs, but he's been a little banged up, that line. And Eriksson Ek too, we'll see if he gets some time off. I'm not sure. But I'm in your camp. I think that being healthy is more important and is probably more a focal point than chasing home ice. I don't see Evason, the staff, and those guys saying, let's pedal to the metal home ice. It's the only way we win this series.
It'd be a huge mistake. And I do think I'm not joking, if somebody gets hurt, I think you find the person that looks the most like that person just off the street and put them on the line. If Ek gets hurt, you go to Sweden, just find a dude that looks like Eriksson Ek.
Just a punchable face.
Yeah, and just you're like, no, he's back. He's back. We're good. Because it doesn't seem like we can't scramble these eggs. We got to be our full lineup. I think the Dumba thing's also, I know Dumba's kind of a love-hate personality with Wild fans for whatever reason, but I think he does bring energy. I do think we have a lot of quiet people on the team, and I think when he's there, there's swag with the team. So I hope he's healthy too.
Yeah, and I think that they are getting healthy. I think they're managing everything right now. The decisions that are being made are with the hope and the desire to have them ready for game one of the playoffs. and maybe a game or two before, because it's hard. And I think it's recognizable from sight that the game changes a little bit in playoff hockey. It becomes a little bit more physical, a little bit faster. Guys are a little bit more accountable defensively. So I think it'll be difficult for these guys to come off from a 10-game layup and jump right into that pace and not expect a mistake or two. And every mistake could be the difference in playoff hockey. So I think that they're going to try to get these guys in a game or two before the playoffs. And that's all with just getting them up to speed. But there's no question that Dumba brings an energy, a swagger to the room. And I think he also is a veteran guy that recognizes it. The unfortunate part is that it seems to always cost him. When he on the ice is making statements with his physical play and bringing that energy, it seems that he always gets banged up or he gets hurt, and then he's got to sit on the sidelines. You go back to when he tore his pec. Nice
Tkachuk.
Yeah, nice big hit in the neutral ice on Backlund. Then he fights Tkachuk. Then he's out, and he's like, dang, damn. And then I think he got away from that physical hockey for probably 12 months. It was a year, 18 months maybe, where he's like, all right, this isn't worth it.
Well, I think he's a glue guy in the room. So I'm talking more like tunnel walk, bench. I think he's just vocal. I'm not a real hockey player, but I tell you, if you're on the bench and Tuesday night, and you just got everybody loving each other. You got chemistry, people joking, saying stuff. That is so much better than silence or some guy saying, damn it.
Yeah. Nice shift.
Yeah. I just like, let's get loose. I think Dumba, his attitude, it's like he's always wearing a hotel robe. He's groovy.
I think they're dependent on one another though. Him off the ice and him on the ice. Like he has more energy when he's bringing it on the ice. And again, I think there was a lull for him after the Tkachuk fight because he wasn't willing. And I think he thought like, hey, me playing this brand of hockey, this physical style, energy, high stepping, it cost me. And I think it went the other direction. I think the club actually went the other direction too, right? Like he didn't have as big a voice in the locker room. And then, this is all speculation, but that was during the Parise Suter era, right? And maybe he didn't feel as good about himself. Now, all of a sudden, it's his room, his voice a little bit. He's playing great, but now he steps up in the middle of the ice. He gets hurt. I hope he bounces back.
So do you think, when you say the two things on and off the ice, are you saying he's like a cadre where he's going to do something dumb and hurt us in the playoffs? Or are you saying when he's full throttle, he can't stay healthy?
When he's full throttle, so when he's providing the biggest spark, the most energy for the club. Red Deer
Matt Dumba that we used to watch on YouTube.
That's both on the ice and off the ice. And when it's on the ice, he
gets hurt?
Eventually
because he's a small
hurt.
Dude.
Right. And I think that's when his light is shining the brightest.
Okay. So I have two guys that we have to keep healthy. I think these are the two kingpins to the whole team. Brodin, need to bubble wrap him. He made it through 6 games against Vegas last year, so we need to wrap him up double layers. And Zook. Those two guys. I think other guys can come in and out, get banged up, but those two guys, those are the straws that stir the drink, I think, those two players. You agree with that?
I do agree that so this is what I'll say, that when you were to say who is the Wild's best player and who is the Wild's most important player, that's two different things.
Yeah. Best is 97.
Best is 97. Most important might be Jonas Brodin. It also might be
too.
It also
might be Zuki.
Eriksson Ek. Now, I don't think Zuki factors in that much in terms of importance. I do think he does in terms of being a good player. Now, I don't know how many St. Louis Blues fans listen to this, but
we're going to get into them. I got to start hating them right now.
I think Zuccarello is important for this reason.
Nice. Let's hear it.
I think Kaprizov has proven that he's battle tested and he'll grind. And I think last year he learned a lot in the playoff series with Vegas, to where he knows, and his game is grown.
And was he a non-factor in the playoffs?
He wasn't a non-factor.
He was 3 points in 6 or something.
He wasn't a non-factor, but where he just was perimeter, and that's because he had to win the battles. Vegas was a big, heavy team, and they couldn't get the pucks off the wall, so Kaprizov had to do it. All of a sudden, he'd win these battles, and there wasn't anybody in the interior of the ice to get the pucks to, and he just was less effective. Now he's got a few more tricks. I think he's a little bit better, a little bit more seasoned. He battles, he gets it. Yeah, but I do think that if you're trying to shut that line down, it's through Matt Zuccarello.
Absolutely.
He's not as big. He's not as strong. He's got a long stick. And when things get tough and things get tight, if I was the St. Louis Blues and I need to shut that line down, Zuccarello's the guy that I target to shut down because he's the playmaker, the chemistry between the two of them. It's obvious. You can see it. You can't shut down Kaprizov anymore. I think you almost just say, all right, let's let that guy go.
You know what I like about this? I have an Italian buddy, and he said to his wife at one point, also Italian, he said, I'd never cheat on you because you would actually kill me. And she said, no. I wouldn't kill you. I'd kill your brother, your best friend in the world, and I'd let you live with it the rest of your life. So if you take out, and that was like top of mind on the tip of her
She's
tongue.
thought of it. That's so
if you
scary.
I don't want to even say this because I don't want to help the Blues, but if Kirill saw like Zuki, thumbs up going off the ice, yeah, that's the way. That's the hurt locker for us.
Right.
Yeah. You got to protect 36. I mean, he's beautiful as well.
And I think in a tough series, which they're going to have against St. Louis, it's, Zuccarello. Can he handle it? And how does he play? I think we all know what we're going to get out of 97. 97.
And him and the other Russian are just going to be Tarasenko. It's going to be like two oxes wrestling in a barn. It's going to be unbelievable.
And going back to Brodin, I'm glad you brought him up.
I love him. He's so good. I just watched him skate last night. There was a sequence where he went down the ice, and I was like, this is some Olympic shit. Like, this is like, are we in Sarajevo or Lillehammer? Like, just watching this guy skate. And when you are against top talent, I know they just roll him out like a dice. He's the guy. And McDavid, whatever.
And getting Matt Dumba back will be so huge for Brodin. It's so sad. Go watch and warm up.
For Jimmy?
Yeah. Because
Jimmy don't speak.
No.
Jimmy's has no tongue.
He's like the little brother that just follows behind, right? And Dumba's the big brother, just right in his shadow, but loves it there. Look and warm up. Go back to warm up.
We would do a better podcast if Dumbo was here every day, just like saying stuff to us.
Just high step.
What's up, Carts?
Yeah.
Got a hoodie? Hoodie guy. Love you, hoodie guy.
And Brodin.
That didn't work.
Brodin and warm up. They have their thing. He and Dumba do. Like they have their whole routine.
Like, is it a handshake? What do they do?
Oh, it's handshakes. It's passing the puck. It's skating. It's sauce pass. Like the whole warm up is the two of them. And Brodin, I've been watching during warm up.
He's just standing.
It's kind of sad. He's lost.
He's doing rock paper scissors with like a rich guy's son in the front row
with himself. Like I just
give
want
the puck to your
Dumba
sister
back so that Brodin can have his boy back and just get back to his normal routine.
Hey, I want to give something away. These are really hard to get. How do I get this camera? Is it on there now? Can you see it? He says thumbs up, Gabe. So these big rig hats they just didn't make very many of them and they're hard to get. So let's do this. We always give our prizes away too. Sometimes people ask us on social media. So whether it's a ticket or whatever, they've all been redeemed. This will be the same. I think just share one of our tweets with another Wild fan you think would like Stanley on 7th and do hashtag Big Rig. Yeah, good hashtag.
Hashtag Big Rig.
Hashtag Big Rig, and we'll look for you on there, and we'll give this hat away this week. Can't buy them anymore, best I can tell. So let's grow it. If you're Zuki, find your Kirill out there. Make one tape-to-tape pass of our podcast to another Wild fan. That's how we grow it.
Boom. I like it. Can we go back to Montreal for a minute?
Yes.
So this is off ice.
Okay.
Montreal has maybe the best hotel.
I've heard it's an amazing city. Also, maybe dancer clubs there.
Yeah. The city's great.
Peelers.
Yeah, the city is unbelievable. But I'm specifically going to talk about the hotel.
So where did you stay?
We stayed at the Ritz Carlton, and heated floors in the bathroom. The towels, like the towel rack, has a steamer, and the towels are warm.
Oh my God!
And then you go to the bathroom, the toilet.
Bidet?
Heated seat bidet.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do that to help them win games? It's like the Vegas flu, like they make you too soft?
I'm not sure.
We won.
Yeah. I'm not sure. So you're thinking that the Montreal Canadiens paid for the toilets at the Ritz Carlton?
They're like the Ritz
to soften everybody up.
Ritz came to them and was like, hey, We can do everything, but the heated floors is out of scope, and they're like, just put it in.
Have you used a bidet before?
This is the type of stuff I need to talk to the psychology about. My brother has a bidet. I think it would be awesome. I do think wiping with dry is totally something we made up 50 years ago. That's a bad choice. I would like to wipe with wet.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's cleaner. I mean, like if I had some old coffee in here, I wouldn't just take a piece of toilet paper and try to wipe it out. I put some hot water in there.
So I've got no problems with the traditional way.
Are you going to an ad read now?
No, I really don't. I didn't.
You could have probably switched.
Yeah, we could go there.
Go to water.
We could go there after, but I do want to finish this. So there's like this.
What happened in Montreal in the hotel, Ryan? Do you need to tell us something?
No. But so if you've never used a bidet, this one, it has to be high tech.
Are you going to buy one?
All kinds of options on it.
My brother has one. I can get you into touch with people.
But is it the entire toilet or just the seat? I've seen ones where you buy the seat only, and it has like a little water jet. That's the difference.
I'll get the one he has and send it to you.
So you've got to look at the photo. We'll post the photo.
This was at the hotel?
But you can hit the button to clean the front. You can clean the back. You can have warm water.
Rear cleansing.
Yeah.
Front cleansing. So this is the same hotel the Wild stayed at?
Oh, yeah. Every player.
So at some point at breakfast when they're having the La Quinta waffles, like Eck might have been like, hey, did you do rear cleansing?
Right.
And Felino wasn't there. He had COVID, but like maybe Greenway was like, no, only front cleansing. This is great. Cool. I like this. So that's got to be expensive.
So the amazing part is how accurate
the targeting of the hot water was.
Yes. So it's.
Have you
ever played the game Battleship?
Between front and rear cleansing, because that could be exciting.
No, you can't because it's so accurate. Have you played the game Battleship? How can it
be accurate? So every guy or man or woman has the same, from that 6 inches is kind of the same?
Well, this is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, keep going.
I don't quite understand. Have you played the game Battleship before?
Yep.
Where it's like C4, direct hit.
Yeah.
And then there's like 3 ships on there, so you could be on the other side of the board and still get a direct hit.
Yeah.
I was basically playing Battleship on that toilet.
You were moving yourself?
Yes.
And it would still hit you?
Boom, spot on.
So you're saying it's laser guided?
I don't know. So that's what I'm wondering. Is there a camera in there? And then somewhere off on the other side of the world, somebody's like got a little target and it's like direct hit.
So you're saying you believe there's special forces drone fighters targeting your chode?
Running these.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Maybe. So? I don't have the benefit of.
So now I took a video.
Trips.
What is this?
You didn't take a video.
Yes, I did. What is? Oh, see. Do you see the sensor there on it?
Oh, so it is looking for
and then
distance.
Watch the video.
Is it going to hit you in the shoe?
It doesn't hit me in the shoe, so I had to somehow block that sensor, and it comes out and it shoots and targets and turns. I had to get to the bottom of this.
That is cool, man. So it has like we'll put this on the YouTube at least, but for the listeners at home, what Ryan discovered when he got off the toilet and activated this scope is it has almost like a little submarine thing that pops out, and it does appear to follow you and shoot water with a sensor. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's a high-end toilet, my man. And that has to have so many mechanical problems. That thing's like a disaster installing those things. You see how small that scope is?
Yeah, the scope is small, accurate, but then now the toilet seat, again, is like 90 degrees. It's hot, it's warm, it's comfortable.
This is a whole line of questioning if you get some of the guys at practice tomorrow. I want to ask Jost about front and rear cleaning in Montreal.
Well, the best part about it was there was a bug that ran through everybody.
Oh, I wonder.
And it was the best place for it to happen. Guys were on the toilet, and it's the best place. No chafing. They were able to play a free game.
Oh, you're saying they had diarrhea in Montreal?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's a good city for a guy's trip, Montreal?
Yeah, I do. I believe it would be a great city.
I heard it's just awesome. A good spot. A couple other things I want to hit you with. I think Moose. So Moose gets this little rest break. Dude has 112 penalty minutes. I think, like, if I was the Marvel people, I think Moose is about to become a major playoff superhero. I think he's
Captain America.
No, I don't know. I think it would be called Moose probably, but he's going to do. I think it's going to be a violent. I think it's going to be extreme what he does. I think like he's going to go home to his wife because he's a good guy by all accounts. It's going to be a little bit like that movie American Sniper, where he's going to be like, I'm at the bar down the street. I'm home, but I'm not coming home yet. Like he's going to do bad. It's going to be bad, the stuff he does. And it's going to be awesome. I mean, he's going to help us because we're going to beat St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that. I think
he's gonna cross all the way over.
I think as soon as Delorier got here, it was kind of back and forth. Like that's
what's the factor in it, is he doesn't want people to think that now he's in the
second fiddle.
Not even second fiddle. Oh, now I'm in the student council because we got a guy in a black leather jacket on our team. He's like, hell no, I got a black leather jacket too. He's going to be even worse.
And I got patches.
He's going to be, he's got a vest, not a black leather jacket. He's got a vest. He's going to do bad things. He's going to do some stuff where like even his close friends are like if he was the godfather in somebody's like baptism, they're like, no, that was, Uncle Marcus, he let's just turn off the TV. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Well, he's going to have some work to do then to out nasty Delorier, because after last night's game, Vancouver, if you didn't catch it, there was a shift in the second or third where Schenn was all over Kaprizov.
I didn't see this.
Hit him hard twice. Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Hit him hard in the corner once and hurt his knee.
Really?
Yeah, hurt Kirill's knee.
Don't do that.
Looked like. And then later in the shift was tough around the blue line, took him down to the ice, and next shift, Delorier comes out and his post and he fights Schenn, and it was great. Post game, Delorier is just like, yeah, and Schenn, he didn't have a choice. He was going to get it one way or the other, but he's an honorable guy. He obliged, and we had a decent fight. But it tells me everything you need to know about Delorier too. Like he didn't have a choice. It was going to happen regardless of what he said there.
This is the medicine, and you're going to take it. No, I love that. I'm underestimating the importance of 97. Obviously, I think the only reason I don't worry about him so much, the psychologist would have seen me do that, knocking on wood. But I just think he's tough. He's strong. He's an ox. He flips tires in the rain. I think Kirill can handle himself. I mean, if he's targeted, he's targeted. That's different. But I do think he's pretty solid, solid human. So he can bang.
Yeah,
I think
he can bang. He's got a shiner right now, though. I think he's banged up. So we're recording.
How do you get a shiner?
I don't know. High stick maybe. But we're recording the day of the St. Louis or the Seattle game.
Yeah, before. It's going to come out today. Yeah. Before Seattle. You had a great line last night.
I think there's a chance that Kirill gets tonight off.
Can you imagine the fans?
Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't been to the rink, and I don't know. But I just think that after last night's game, tough. Like he is tough, but I think there's a chance.
Hey, I'm down with that, especially
points
against whatever we're playing, the Octopuses or whatever.
Well, they've won 3 in a row, so they're actually playing better.
That's the stupidest franchise in the world. So, you had a great line last night. I want to give you a little analyst love. When somebody just swung their stick at someone's face on our team. Who was it that did it? Just two-handed a guy in the face. Kirill. And you go, that looked more like a slice than a slash. As the guy's head is flipping backwards because he's got a 4-minute, there's blood everywhere. I was like, that is brilliant. That looks more like it was like something out of Best in Show. That looks more like a slice than a slash.
Well, he was leaking, and then he came back.
You said leaking too. I'm like, this is great. And then Fiala, why didn't Fiala get 4 when we saw the pretty boy bleed last night? There was blood in his mouth. Why didn't he get a 4-minute penalty against them? When he got hit in the face, he was bleeding all
Tyler
over.
Myers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the blood.
There was blood. And by the way, he's got scruff now. Like, what's going on with Fiala?
I don't know.
He's maybe getting a vest.
Yeah.
Because he can be a bitch. Like he's not.
We've talked about
this. Yeah, he can cut people, like cut people.
He's a cutter.
Yeah, he's a Achilles guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hair puller. But he's got the scruff now, and like it looks kind of cool, and he had blood on his beautiful teeth.
Do you think he's superstitious? You know what? Actually,
we got to do an ad at some point, by the way. They're going to be all stacked up.
You
lost your plot.
Stupid about that rule is blood in the mouth doesn't count.
That's why it happened. He had only blood in his mouth.
Yeah. So you can lose.
That's great.
You can.
Who in the hell?
You can
imagine
lose
a bunch of hockey people sitting around going, let's draw the line at blood in the mouth.
Right.
Because people could have tablets and bite them.
I honestly think it's rooted in that guys will just go in and bite the inside of their lip.
Yeah, especially if you got a fresh one.
Right.
That makes a huge difference.
Right. And like playoff hockey.
That's
if
good,
you
man.
got
I didn't know that.
If you got stuck in the mouth,
something every day.
If you got stuck in the mouth in the playoffs and there's 4 minutes left and you're down by a goal, wouldn't you just bite the inside of your lip to get 2 extra minutes on the power? Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have tablets from like the costume store. Hey, real quick before we do an ad, my group text, people believe Fiala is a better player because of Kirill, and they're not saying it in the sense of.
It's funny. I had the same thing. The same thought.
They're not saying it because he maybe gets better matchups. It's not that at all. It's Fiala is learning from Kirill. He's starting to skate that way. He's doing mohawks. He literally is leveling up because on a nightly basis, he's seeing what 97 is doing. What do you think about that, analyst Ryan Carter?
Well, first off, I'm glad that your text group is watching the broadcast because we did talk about this on the broadcast a little bit last night. So it
I
illustrates
do it
also
with
that
mute.
you don't. Yeah, okay.
Mute.
You turn on Tom Reed and those guys.
I actually Paul Allen I hold a cell phone up and he does the game.
And I think they're specifically referencing Fiala's second goal.
Because he went zooming around the net.
Yeah, and he started to do the things, and he's learning, absolutely. The things in the way that Kirill creates space, Kevin Fiala is consuming, but it's impressive that he's able to implement them into his game.
Yes.
I think there's zero doubt that Kirill has pushed Kaprizov to new levels. And I think if you're the Minnesota Wild and your management and the coaching staff right now, and you're looking at it and you're saying, man, it's possible that we still haven't seen Kevin Fiala's ceiling. And yeah, he might cost us a pretty penny right now, but that's kind of a scary thought, like with how good he's been, that he's still getting better. A lot of guys tap out in terms of like how much better they're going to get, especially offensively. Right around Fiala's age, 25, 26, like you are what you are. But the fact that he's still getting better is kind of scary.
So do you think that's almost competitive? Like he's on the bench going, oh, 97's having a night, and then he wants to be the star. Or what is that? How does 97 motivate 22?
Well, I honestly think that 97 probably is just, he's the leader there in terms of skill, play, creation,
Absolutely.
all of that stuff. And now Kevin Fiala is just, he's seeing it and saying, well, I have the skills to do that. I've just never thought about it before. And now he's thinking about it and he's trying it and he's doing it. And it's probably very similar to the Michigan goal where you saw one guy try it and now everybody's trying it.
Yep.
Right.
I believe that you're right.
And it's kind of the same. So he's like, well, I didn't know I could even do that. And now Kevin Fiala's trying these things and he's doing it.
That'd be like one guy getting a water system in their home that changed their life and then sharing that and then a bunch of other people doing the same.
Yeah, that would be very similar.
Okay.
But as spring approaches, and
sorry, go ahead.
As spring approaches, have you noticed like the sniffles, like a little, like the air in your home is
my
a little
eyes
stiff?
have been red. Yeah,
they've been red a little bit. Well, you should maybe consider getting an AC tune-up from our friends at Aquarius Home Services. $55 for an AC tune-up checkup. I don't think you can beat that, dude.
Dumba's old number.
Yeah. Matt Dumba, $55. They can do more than just water. They do the water for me. I love it. It's the best. I've got the Kinetico system, the RO system right at the sink there. That's all I drink. The ice is wonderful. The water softener is great, but they do so much more. $55 AC tune-up. As the weather starts to turn, it's crazy. I was in my car yesterday. It was 55 degrees, and I had to have the AC on. It's crazy how fast it turns. You don't want to get caught behind this. Call Aquarius Home Services. They earn the right to be recommended. You'll love these guys. Call them, schedule your AC tune-up now.
I like this line, earn the right to be recommended. It's very like playoffs, you know? It's pretty an honest game. Earn the right to be recommended. Good job. I liked, what was your first line? Spring is in the air. What did you say?
I don't know. That's not on here.
Did you write that yourself? It's written down.
It's not written down.
Show me.
There you go. This is good. This is good podcasting.
Okay, cool. Good job. Okay, let's get some stuff out of here. So Calder, Rookie of the Year. We got Bunting on Toronto, 63 points. He's 26 years old. Kirill was old last year too. He's playing with some studs. but he's 26, which is kind of crazy as a rookie. So like Austin Matthews is like 4 years younger than Bunting, the rookie, and he's been playing for multiple years. Zegras 57 points. Bunting's huge plus guy. Zegras huge minus guy because of the teams. And then Seider, the big defenseman on Detroit, 48. So new school, old school. If I'm new school NHL, I 100% give the Calder to Zegras. Just say, and you're part of the reason you're giving it to him is you're like, let's go. Let's get a little X Games with all of this. Let's party. Let's have fun. Tuxedo t-shirt, Trevor Zegras. Old school, quiet Canadian, stubborn bastards, they're going to vote Seider in because he's a defenseman with 48 points and he represents the old game. And the truth is they kind of want to give the middle finger to these TikTok kids. What's going to happen on the Calder? I vote Zegras. I want the future.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be I think it's going to be Zegras. I do. And I think that the league wants it to be Zegras.
I don't think there's a chance.
You don't think there's a chance it's him?
No, I think there's a lot of resent and there's a lot of people. It's the old man, get off my yard. I think Seider wins with a bullet because of all the old school people. Because he's a great defenseman and he's a good choice. If he wins Rookie of the Year, awesome. But I think you have an opportunity to make a statement with Zegras. And I think Seider will run away with it.
Well, the one thing I would say is of those three people, which player has actually made a statement themselves?
Made a statement? You mean talking or what do you mean?
No, like playing. Like made a statement on the game. Who has impacted the game? Like made a statement.
Zegras.
You think Zegras has?
Without a doubt. I mean, you got little kids changing how they're playing. You know, I even think a guy like Kirill is thinking to himself, at some point, I got to lift the puck off the ice and do something because that's what star players do now.
Yeah, and I do think that he's had an impact that
Who did
way.
you have? You clearly have someone else. Who do you think made a statement?
No, I think Seider has in multiple ways.
Just like, killing people?
Oh, he kills people. He runs their power play.
I knew you would think that.
Yeah, and he's huge. He's big. Like he's legitimately the prototype for like the ideal NHL defenseman.
And you're 10 years younger than me. Oh, that's weird. So, okay. This is what's going to happen. Every guy that votes for Seider is going to think that Zegras is going to win, but they're making their personal statement, and he's going to run away with it. It's old school hockey. Same people that didn't like it when Ovechkin dropped his stick at 50 goals and warmed his hands on it.
Yeah.
You know, he is a stud. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, he's great. That's the issue is he's great, and he's not just great at one thing. Like he does a lot of things for his hockey club.
Zegras is generational, though. He's changing how the game is going to be played.
Do you think that Chris Pronger was generational
at the time? But Seider is just a replica of him 20 years later.
No, Seider is he's got more skill than Chris Pronger.
Hedman.
He's got more skill than Hedman, and Hedman doesn't blow guys up. He's not aggressive like Seider's. But I see your point.
I'm just saying the Zegras effect.
I see your point.
You could say the Zegras effect, and it could be real. I don't think you could say the Seider effect.
So Zegras has my point with Zegras is he has one play that has stood out in your mind.
No. He's got some of the sickest hands in the world. He's also so from a marketing standpoint. He understands social media. So when I did the hockey hair deal, right? When you send those videos and you've helped me with them.
So you're trying to pick your Calder winner. This is the issue based off of marketing ability.
You have to win every
marketability. But
we're going to talk to the sports psychologist about this as well.
I want you to finish it, but marketability shouldn't factor in.
He's right there. I mean, it's a toss up with these three guys. If he wasn't in the running, if he was a guy who somehow could shoot a slap shot 120 and he only had 20 points, I wouldn't vote for him. But when you're in this world of 63, 57, 48 points, one guy's old, one guy's changing the game, and one guy is an amazing he's playing like a 25-year-old as a rookie, the defenseman. So they all have their thing. I'm just saying I'd vote for the future.
I do think, and I think Zegras is going to win it. I think that's part of the reason why he was in the NHL All-Star game. I think that's part of the reason why he won.
But don't the writers vote? Who votes?
For
Calder.
Yeah. I don't know who gets all the votes or where they all come from. But like I said, marketability, there's no question it's going to be Zegras. And
I'll bet you $1 that Seider wins.
Okay. I'll take that bet. Which is funny because I actually think Seider is the better player, but I think Zegras is going to win. And you think Zegras is the better player, but Seider is going to win.
I don't know necessarily that I think Zegras is the better player. I think Zegras should win the Calder. I think Seider is outstanding. I think Stevie Y is going to build a Stanley Cup team very fast. I think he's a genius. I think he's just great. The way he drafts is like every time he drafts a guy, everyone's like, what? And then it's the best guy. I mean, he's a freak talent as a GM. So this kid's great too. What else you got?
You've got the notes there. I can't wait for what else you have on there.
Goose being plus 44.
Was he plus last night? He might be plus.
What in the hell? So our next plus is plus 28. I don't understand how Goose is a plus 44. What the hell is happening?
And a lot of people...
What is he doing?
A lot of people discredit that stat because...
You can't discredit that stat.
I don't think you can when it's an anomaly like that.
It's a complete anomaly. So who is he playing with? How did he become plus 44 and the next guy's 20 away?
When you stand out that far, there has to be something about you that has been good. And Goose has been good. And I talked about it.
Or he's just been healthy all year and no one else has? Is that why?
No, I don't think so.
Because Spurgeon's been hurt. Dumba's been hurt. I wonder if it's just because he played the whole season.
I don't know what the stretches are on those games, but Spurgeon hasn't missed that many games to where it's Goligoski's going to be plus 20 over him. But no, the other impressive part about it is Goligoski, he started the year as a top pair defenseman, power play, and sometimes that role, like, you have to produce, and he produced points, and he was a plus minus guy, and he was plus 20 halfway through the year. Second half of the year, and then specifically after the Middleton acquisition, he's been a bottom pair guy, but he's still been able to, like, all of a sudden rack up plus 20 over that period.
He's awesome. When I watch the game, there's more than one occasion where I think he's Kirill. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they move the same. They maybe both have a 7. What's Goose's number?
47.
Yeah, there's times though, frequently, I wonder if you have this. You obviously watch every game. Do you ever, like, there's moments where I'm like, I think it's Kirill on the wall, down low, whatever. He's an awesome player and he's an old dude.
Yeah.
What a freaking gamer. Good Minnesota Gopher, doesn't cheat, plays the right way, no substances. I think that's just awesome.
That is awesome. But you want to know what? Gosh, this is so sad too. When everybody gets healthy, where's he going to fit in?
He's going to fit in perfectly wherever he can be because he's great.
Yeah, but where's that going to be? Like, legitimately.
I think he's a top 2 pair for sure.
Okay, so let's just go through it. You have Spurgeon Middleton. That's a pair. You have Dumba Brodin. That's a pair.
Well, I'd run him on the power play. I would use him almost like a John Carlson or if you have a power play with four forwards, I'd have him be the only D.
Against the St. Louis Blues, there's a chance he's plus 44, 6th in the NHL right now, and he's odd man out.
You mean third pair?
No, 4th pair.
Who's third pair then?
Merrill and Kulikov.
Well, I guess because plus, it's going to be a 1-goal game, so it's totally different. I don't know. I just think he's had a hell of a season.
Oh, it's been a great season, but I'm just saying it's amazing. Like we talked about the depth word. It's possible Goligoski doesn't have a spot. Now, I don't know what lineup Evason's going to go with. I think he likes the size of Merrill and Kulikov. It's possible that Goligoski goes in there, but I don't think Goligoski's cracking the top 4. I don't think Spurgeon's not going anywhere. Middleton's going to be playing with Spurgeon. Brodin is the left side D there. Dumba is going to be playing with him. So it's Merrill, Kulikov, and Goligoski and Jordy Ben for that third pair.
You're making my head hurt. I didn't even think about that.
But it's going to be amazing. Plus 44. He's going to be 6th in the league in plus minus, and there's a chance that...
In some ways, this is probably blasphemous, but in some ways, you could put Goose instead of Dumba.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I mean, he's a great player. He's offensive, does the same thing. Brodin, I mean, whoever's with Brodin doesn't have to worry about anything.
The other thing that I think, and I'll be watching close, is playoff hockey, D on the wrong side. So having to hold pucks in on their backhand and things like that, having to make passes through the middle on their
How many of those guys do we have right now?
Only one. Kulikov. So all of a sudden, if he's in for Dumba, that's where you have 4 two D sets with an offside D. So they're holding pucks on the backhand, making breakout passes on their backhand. Playoff hockey, that becomes much harder.
If Goose was in for Kulikov, does that? I don't know what hand is.
So Kulikov's a lefty. So that would be the same lefty.
Okay. Well, that sucks, man. That'd be crazy if he's not playing. But I guess, it's a long playoffs. You got to get 16 Ws. So I'm sure there'll be some people banged up at some point.
And don't get me wrong. Like, he's proven that he probably could and should be in there. I'm just saying the Wild have 8D. Like, there's some choices to be made there.
I agree. I completely agree. Goalie is another choice. Yeah. I think Big Balls Billy is gonna I think that Flower's gonna be our starting goalie game one. I don't see it any other way, and it's not because Talbot's not playing amazing. He's all year he's been making moves and saying deal with it. I think he's going to start Flower and say, this is your net until you prove us otherwise. I think both of them end up being big contributors if we do what we are meant to do. But I do think that's the starting goalie for Mr. Guerin.
So they've more or less rotated since the acquisition. I think Talbot got 2 games right after the trade, so Fleury could go home and gather his stuff and move the family up here. But since then, it's been a rotation. Do you think that they'll rotate? So Fleury gets game 1. Does that mean Talbot's getting game 2?
No, I think it's going to be Flower's net unless he has a boo-boo, and goalies always do. And then there'll be we're coming back with Talbot because they're both good goalies. But I think it's going to be Flower's net. That's my bet. I think Billy making that move wasn't imagining Flower as a backup.
Right. And I agree with you. I will say, though, I think Dean Evison has done a good job. He's okay with making hard decisions, and I don't think he'll be afraid. I don't think he'll be influenced by the fact that Marc-Andre Fleury is Marc-Andre Fleury, 3 cups, the pedigree that follows him. If Talbot's the guy, I think he's got the guts to go with Cam Talbot. But I'm with you. I think that Fleury is going to be the guy game 1. Now, my concern is that becomes just a big distraction for the club, because Marc-Andre Fleury not only brings cup cred and all this other stuff, he also brings like national media attention.
I know he's got the whole Tim Tebow effect. All I mean is I think he starts game 1, and whether he wins or loses, I think he plays game 2. That's the card I think Billy wants to play. That's it. After that, I think it becomes you're in the flow, whatever it feels like, and it changes on the daily. But for your point, I wonder if there's a way to avoid that a little bit by running Flower 3 games in a row down the stretch here. But I don't. That's bad too, because the team's playing different, and if he gets lit up, then it hurts what you want to do. Yeah, I don't know. They'll probably just rotate him and then just start him in the first game.
I think the best way to handle it would probably have the coach and the 2 goaltenders just go out for a beer and talk about it and hash it out and say, hey, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do.
I like what you're doing.
If they were going to do that, where would a good spot for them to go have a beer, chat through this, and come up with the plan for game 1?
Well, there's a private place. There's a little tap room in White Bear Lake where I think that they, depending on the time of day, they wouldn't be recognized. As a matter of fact, if they went tomorrow, on April 23rd, Big Wood is introducing their beer of the moment, Big Wood Kolsch. And the O has 2 dots above it. It's a Big Wood Kolsch event tomorrow. They're going to tap this. I was there last night. The beer isn't even there until Saturday. They're going to tap it at noon. Live music, food from 5 to 8. That's my favorite part of this is we're going to tap it at noon, but there's food coming at 5. So that's insane. And then what he told me about the beer is, it's a German-style Kolsch that'll quench your thirst on the warmer days ahead. Not sure when those are coming. It came from Cologne, Germany. Kolsch beers are traditionally light in color and malt, yielding a mellow, vinous character, which is accompanied by a slightly crisp, dry finish. 1 sip, and you'll say, that hits the spot. Big Wood Brewery. Big Wood beer.
When does it open? Noon?
Yeah, they're going to tap this thing at noon. Let's see here. Live music 5 to 8. Roma restaurants doing the food. I should post this on our social.
Can we get the first beer?
I'm going to be out of town, but maybe if we went there right before I left or something.
That's what I'm saying. Right at noon. I want the first one.
Well, I'm sure I can text them. if you swing by there.
We got a flight to Nashville at like 1 or 2, so you could just have a beer, settle down for the flight, and then
do it. Hey, good setup, tape to tape. Well done. I'll cross that off my list.
Zuki to Kirill.
Hey, playoff protocol. Okay. I believe we're going to get a sports psychologist in here to talk to us in the next week or so before the playoffs, correct?
I think that would be wise.
Okay, I love that.
To get into the mental space that you need to be in for playoff hockey.
Yeah, to stop knocking on wood, all the things. Yes, I think that's great. I would like you and I to grow playoff beards.
Oh, boy.
Are you okay with that, or are you allowed to do that with Bally's?
I'm going to go ahead and say no, they're not going to allow me to do it because I can't.
You can't grow a beard?
No.
Okay. Well,
so I grew a playoff mustache.
I'm going to come in here. I want us to record the day after their last game, and I'm going to bring in a bucket with warm water. I'm going to shave in here, and then that'll be a real playoff beard because I expect to have a long beard when this journey is over and we're down on 7th Street.
When was the last time you had a beard?
Well, I probably about the same time I had a beer. I'd have a nice beard. It's not. My beard kind of grows in, and it's a good beard, and then it just stops growing. So I don't get like the Joe Thornton. It's just a beard.
Continues to grow. Yeah.
I don't know how those guys do that. I don't have that sort of neck. Like the guy who owns Bigwood has a huge beard. I don't have that.
I don't either. I don't have any facial hair.
But you have a good mustache. How can you not grow a beard?
Mustache?
Yeah, you can grow a full mustache.
Full as a stretch.
Why don't you do the beard thing with me?
I'll try.
Okay.
It will be comical.
Okay, that's good. Good content
and embarrassing.
So that's playoff.
You can probably count the hairs on my jaw line.
Okay, I'm down for that. I also want to start hating St. Louis. Okay, so I was looking at their lineup, and there's this guy on their team. I don't know how he's so good. R. Thomas, 74 points. I think he was drafted 20th overall. Who the hell is this guy? Robert Thomas. Who is he?
Well, he's their young guy. I think he plays the middle, so
he's a center. But man, he's good, huh?
They've just developed him. I think last year, a couple years ago, he was like their 4th line guy, up and down, kind of a bubble guy, and he's just slowly developed. And all the reports I read out of St. Louis now is that he's the real deal. Like this isn't a one-off season. He's a stud offensively now, and he's the guy that's probably going to carry the torch up the middle for the St. Louis Blues. Well, he's going to take it from Ryan O'Reilly, and he'll be off to the races. So
their PIMs are way lower than ours. I think we win a bloodfest against these guys. I don't know, Perron's. It's amazing. Even Ryan O'Reilly has 12 penalty minutes.
Well, right? He won the Lady Byng a couple of years ago with like 2 penalty minutes.
That's insane. I mean, I guess this Braden Shen can be an ass. He's like their Hartman. I mean, he can be a rat. I don't know, man. We got a better Russian, R. Thomas, whatever, Buchanovich, Kairu. That's a children's show. This team isn't going to beat us. Falk, Krug, Brendan Saad was good like 10 years ago. Parayko. Screw St. Louis, seriously. I mean, this team's not beating us.
I think the one spot that's interesting in St. Louis is the goaltender situation.
Yeah, it's a different dude ahead of Binnington.
Yeah, so Binnington was the number one. He came in, he stole the net, took him to the Stanley Cup final.
Me a lot more than the other guy.
Binnington?
Yeah,
but he hasn't played well. So Husso's come in and he's been great.
He's a gamer. If I were a St. Louis coach, I'd start him all day.
Yeah, Binnington's got a little bit of a Fiala to him, like he's a hair puller cutter, like a little feisty, and that's why you think he's a gamer.
He's a guy that against all odds could beat you and give you the middle finger after he's beaten you.
Right.
He's won and he's flicking you off.
Right.
Yeah, I'm much more scared of him than whoever this other guy
But I like the fact that they're going in with their number one as their number two.
Yes.
I like that in terms of the opposition, because you know that there's always doubt there. There's always doubt. Like you can, if Husso starts game one, you get after him, you light him up. Now you throw doubt in that team's mind. Like, who are you going to put in net? Do you have confidence in Binnington? And the media will run with it, and you just kind of fuel the fire, and you go out there and play your hockey. I think the thing is, right now, goalies, they could be the absolute difference. Both teams are scoring at unbelievable clips right now. The St. Louis Blues are averaging like 5 goals a game over their last 10. The Wild just put up 6 against Vancouver in a desperation game. Vancouver has the 8th best defense in the league. So both teams can score. And both teams have tried to build up the back end. They've got big guys, Parayko, Scandella. On the other side, it's Middleton. And then you've got the Merrill, Kulikov, those guys, the bigger bodies that they're trying to have.
They don't have the PIMs, though, man. When this thing gets really, really violent, we're more set up for that than they are.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I'm curious how the PIMs thing play out, though. Playoff hockey, a lot of times the whistles go away. You know, they don't call a lot.
I think the Western Conference is going to be disgusting.
Bloodbath.
Like a Tarantino movie. All of them. Calgary. I think it's going to be like 1970s NHL.
If they wanted to protect themselves somehow, maybe buy some insurance.
So like if you were a goaltender and you got busted for a banned substance, would you be able to call this guy?
You could call him for a banned substance, but I don't know that he could get you out of it.
Okay.
He's a hockey guy, so he could probably talk you through your options.
Okay.
And we're talking Andy Hedlund, thehockeyagent.com. Nate Prosser knows him. If Nate Prosser knows you, you're a good guy.
He knows us.
Yeah.
We're good guys.
Well, there you go. But if you've got a new house, let's say you got that letter in the mail and your rates just went up and you want to shop around a little bit, call Andy Hedlund at thehockeyagent.com. His phone number, 763-537-4949. If it's a bloodbath out there, hey, he's a guy in the front line for you. He'll take care of you, one on the chin. He'll do the work. He'll be the Delorier for the Kirill Kaprizov, standing in there, taking the shots, making sure you're covered.
I like it. I'm sure he likes if it's a bloodbath being his lead-in.
That's State Farm. The colors are red. It's good.
It's good. Do you want to finish? Should we talk gambling for a minute, or you want to do that next time?
Yeah, no. So I think we should talk about this a little bit. I've been trying to communicate with John a lot about the podcast and getting things set up. And every time I get on the phone with him, all he wants to talk about is this new app he's got. And if from an analyst standpoint, I can help him win some money on his bets. So why don't you lay some of these bets out here for us? I didn't do that well.
So I know we didn't win last night. You've only done it once though. So my son got me into this Prize Picks. They're not a sponsor yet, but we're going to make them be a sponsor. But basically it's daily fantasy, and you can bet prop bets as a group and you get multiples. So like if you have 5 prop bets, you make your money times 5. But it's pretty interesting because you can bet on shots, points, goals, assists, hits. Now, not everybody's in there. So if we look at tonight's game, Wild against Seattle, we can see shots over under on these players: Spurgeon 2, Vince Dunn 2, Fiala 3, Yanni Gord 1.5, Matt Boldy 1.5. He got it last night, I think. Daniel Sprong 2, Matty Berniers 2, Hartman 2.5, Kirill 3.5, Jared McCann 2.5, Eck 2.5, Donato 2, Zuccarello 2, Everly 2. Freddie, all that stuff.
So how many bets do you need to have?
I would say you need to pick 4 or 5 guys for it to be worth it. They got Kirill in here for a goal, 0.5 over under. On the assist side, Kirill's in here 0.5, nobody else. Let's see if the goalies are in here. Grubauer's in here at 3.5 goals allowed. That's pretty high. He's not. Our goalie is not in there. Fantasy score gets a little technical, but they got Kaprizov in there at 14.5. And then hits is always fun. Let's see. Probably nobody from our game is in here. Oh, Eck is in here at 1.5 hits, as is our Adam Larson at 3 hits. He must rock people a lot. Daniel Sprong, John Merrill, 0.5 hits. We could literally text John Merrill and be like, hey, hit someone tonight.
Wow, that would be
illegal. That's illegal. We won't do that. I don't have him on my phone.
You know what's interesting, though, is so Kaprizov is at 0.5 point. Is that what it is? Or a goal.
That was goals.
Okay, goals.
0.5 goals. Points, I bet he's not in here.
But let's say you lock that in and he doesn't play. Do you think the bet goes away?
If he doesn't play, it just drops down to 4 out of 4.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't hurt you if he doesn't play.
I was going to say, because maybe that's why they don't have the Wild goaltender in there, because they just don't know who's playing yet.
Yeah, that's true. He might be added later, but he's not in there now.
But so the thing is, it's a parlay. And if you think you can hit however many of these you want to get 4 or 5, and then it pays what, 10x?
Yeah, and if you get like 4 of them right, you get a payout, but it's not as high.
Okay.
It's pretty addicting. And during the playoffs, I don't know that I'll bet. Well, I might bet wild. I asked my son, I'm like, seems like it ruins it for your team if you're betting on them, because you're sitting there going, I sure would like them to get 4 more shots on Fleury. You know, like that's not a good way to watch a playoff game.
Right.
But he's like, no, just bet on the Wild guys. And if they win, you probably win your bet. And if they lose, maybe you win your bet.
Let's wrap this. So that's prize bets.
Prize picks.
Pretty
solid.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll make up some bets. It's not good content on the podcast yet, but I think when we get them as a sponsor, it will be.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we'll do Stone Cold Locks.
I want to wrap up with where we're at with Rat. We haven't checked in with Rat lately. Last time we talked to him, he was off the bandwagon and he was AWOL. Is he back?
He's back. I saw him and he goes, did I really say all that stuff? He goes, yeah, no, we're good. We're all good. Yeah, he was embarrassed. He was drunk. In his defense, that was the only time this year that his son drove him home from the rink. So he stayed after. He doesn't usually go to the bar after. He went to the bar after. And so a lot of that stuff he was saying was like, he was a little deep.
But what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did he go to the bar because he was concerned, that he had to jump off the Wild bandwagon and he's drowning in sorrows?
Maybe he did ask his son to drive him because he was stressed out. But he did say, I told you initially, he said, see, Billy agreed with me. He did, he did everything.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, keep on trucking. He's definitely looking pretty zen.
I think everybody's happier with Rat on the bandwagon.
Yeah, no, we'll get him back on. We'll check in with him before playoffs for sure. And it's good to be back with you. We had a little gap here. I feel now like we're sorority sisters again.
Well, we're going to hit our cadence because the playoffs are, every game is like a series and will be more frequent.
And really none of this stuff mattered, really, until the playoffs. That's when it's like
it's a precursor, it's a warm up.
So this whole season is like dating a girl for like years. But if you don't get married, then you just wasted years. Married is playoffs. We need to get married or pregnant.
All right. We're here till she's here.
We're here till it's here. Could be a boy. Bye.